Mission, on mission, trying to get it right. Transition, changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission, trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Trying to mission, on mission. I'm on a mission, on a mission. I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transition in my life. On a mission, on a mission, on a mission.
So just like I said earlier today, I talked about the corporation and the propensity that when things are going wrong, the best. All right, I'm sorry. My mic is tripping out on me. I don't know what's going on, but when you have a situation, and you're in a corporation, the best bet is to what? Sue. And that's exactly what is happening right at this moment in the Trump administration is that people are now suing over SNAP benefits. And see, here's the thing. America is definitely a corporation, right? So we just talked about what to do in the situation to combat the whole situation when it comes down to, trying to get through the situation with the SNAP benefits. But let's get into the suing of Trump. Let's go.
A legal bomb just dropped on Donald Trump. 23 states, that is nearly half the country, have just filed a massive lawsuit against the Trump administration. The reason? He is letting 42 million Americans lose food stamps that they are entitled to. Here's what's happening right now. We are on day, I believe it's 28 of the government shutdown. And on November 1st, that's Saturday, SNAP benefits are set to expire. SNAP is food stamps. 42 million Americans, 1 in 8 people in this country, are about to lose a program that helps them access one of the most basic needs there is, food. So 23 state attorneys general and 3 governors have just said enough. And they are suing the Trump administration because the USDA has the money to keep feeding people. $6 billion are there in contingency funds. This has never happened before. It didn't happen during the shutdown during Donald Trump's first term. It has not happened during any shutdown. Trump is breaking new ground in cruelty here. And this is where it starts to get bonkers. The USDA published a plan back at the end of September, acknowledging Congress's intent to keep SNAP benefits running through the shutdown. And then there were weeks of silence. And then the announcement came, no, SNAP is getting suspended indefinitely. And their excuse is that they might need that $6 billion for a hurricane, a tornado, or another natural disaster. So 42 million Americans are facing hunger, but that's not enough of an emergency to use the $6 billion or part of it. But a hypothetical natural disaster, which might happen, becomes the reason not to spend that money on making sure people have enough to eat. And maybe the most insulting part of this entire thing The Department of Agriculture's website has this big message, as do many departments right now, blaming Democrats, saying the well has run dry and it is the fault of the Democratic Party. The truth is, Republicans control everything, White House, House, and Senate, and the well hasn't run dry. There are $6 billion sitting there, but Trump won't use it to feed people. Now, the lawsuit says that the USDA has a legal responsibility to use that money, that these are not optional benefits, these are mandatory. This is a program that keeps Americans alive. The money exists, the mandate from Congress exists. There's no legal reason, there's no substantive reason to hold back the money. But the USDA is refusing and blaming Democrats on their website. Now, here's something fascinating. If you look at which states are suing here, some of these are traditionally red states. Pennsylvania, a swing state which voted for Trump in 2024, is right there in the lawsuit. Now, of course, Pennsylvania's governor is Josh Shapiro, a Democrat. But what this proves is that, once again, Republicans hurt their own constituency over and over again. And then these folks will keep voting for them and blaming Democrats.
I just want to like just show you guys how ridiculous this is. The fact that you would have a U.S. government agency having a banner on the top of their website saying Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Bottom line, this well has run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutritional assistance. What in the hell is going on? This is a government website. Let me zoom in. Let me just zoom in because this is crazy. How in the hell is this even a thing? Why is the government being partial, Democrat or Republican? Why is the USDA? Who wrote this? Like who would put this on a government website? Senate Democrats have now voted. What in the hell is going on, bro? That is not professional. So they put this so just because, but they have a surplus, they have money put to the side, but they're going to blame the Democrats because they don't want to use the surplus money to keep the food stamp thing going. So now then they want to say, oh, okay, we're approaching, because they want to make it who wrote this? This is crazy. Who wrote? Listen, this right here is not a good allocation of our government. Read this. Listen, this is what it says. That's crazy. Read it. Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times not to fund the food stamp program, also known as Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry. It has not run dry, you guys. At this time, there will be no benefits issued. This is like a starving out of people or of whatever. Like, what is this? We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. What the frick does Democrats have to do with the USDA? They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable. So they're going. So this tells me that the USDA is willing to play politics. What is this? What is this message here? What are we looking at? Why is the USDA having any kind of a message like this on their website? The USDA should not be partial to any Democrat or Republican. This is the epitome. I don't even know who wrote this. Who put this on their website? Why is this acceptable? So then again, yeah. So now you know what? Trump is being sued because that's crazy. That is ridiculous. This is insane. That is insane. Why would this even be on a website that's run that's a part of the government, like creating division between the Democrats versus Republican? That's crazy. Let's go back into what's going on. Let's go back into it because that is not cool. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. That is awful. Because idiots, but this is the department, the USDA. Why do they have that message on their website? They should not be partial to Democrat versus Republican. They should never have a message like this on their website. That to me is showing that what are we doing here? This is not even like about real, like really trying to find a solution. This is about liberal versus conservative. Oh, it's about they'd rather like do things about transgenders having surgeries. Who wrote that? Who writes this on a government website about, well, no, the reason why the Democrats do it because they'd rather have surgeries for transgenders and Medicaid for illegals. This is on the website of the USDA. What country are we in right now? What are we doing? This is crazy. Now let's get into it. So now Trump is being sued. Let's I'm just blown away that I could actually go to a U.S. government website and see a message like that on top of the damn thing. The USDA should not be partial Democrat or Republican. Whoever typed that message, that should even never exist on a government website. This is what I fought for in the military for this to happen. Whether it might be just spent my time in the military, this is what the military is fighting for the U.S. government to be partial, left wing, right wing, and then have this message on the thing. Like who does that?
And
It's crazy.
crazy doesn't even start to describe it. Trump voters in red states are also going to lose food assistance because of Trump's policies, and they still blame Biden or Democrats or even in some cases Barack Obama. Now, meanwhile, what's Trump been up to? He's been in Asia trying to kiss up to whoever he can kiss up to, being led around completely disoriented. We'll get to that later. Building a $300 million ballroom at the White House after demolishing parts of the East Wing. And then now all of a sudden, Republicans have a new report about not hunger, about Biden's use of the auto pen on day 20, whatever, of the government shutdown. So this is tragically, there's a huge human cost, 42 million people. That includes families, kids, elderly people, veterans, working people. Their benefits disappear on November 1st. This is not a funding problem. It's simply a choice. Now, if Trump wants to be seen as a hero, and we know he does, Trump's concerned with, do people like me, legacy, etc., he could solve this right now. He could come out and in a profile of courage, he could say, I am directing the USDA to fund food stamps in November with the $6 billion like they are supposed to. Under my presidency, no one will go hungry. And he could do that, right? One signature, one directive, problem solved. But he's not going to do it because it's not about solving problems. He wants to punish people and blame his enemies and try to use it for his political advantage. Will he be able to get away with it? Well, that's the question. That's the question. Blame in American politics is a fickle thing, and it often goes to the wrong people. And we've got 42 million Americans who need food, and they are hoarding the $6 billion, blaming Democrats, and spending uncontrollably on Donald Trump's vanity projects. So let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Send me an email, info@davidpakman.com. Trump and this administration are counting on you not paying attention to the fact that he's choosing a luxury ballroom over feeding Americans. And I know it's not literally the same money. He says it's donors for the ballroom. But the point is, if we stand back, government shut down, ballroom being built, Trump traveling to Asia, now he's on his way back, and 42 million aren't going to get what is on average just a couple $100 in food assistance.
Everybody's focused on who's giving the message, but did you hear the message? Do you see that this is a government website? This should never be on top of a government website. And if I got that information from his show, well, I don't care. Like, this should never be on a government website. You should never have a government website talking about like a division between, well, if the Democrats wouldn't have did this, then the people wouldn't be starving. What are we doing here? The government website, government should not be partial Democrat or Republican, and blame it. And that this is the most childish thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, they 12 times they voted, and that's the reason why y'all don't have no money, and this, that, the other. And so therefore, until they vote the right way, then we won't release the funds, but they have a surplus of funds. So everyone, this is not about Trump. It's about who would put this on a website, bro. A government website. What are we doing here? The Democrats are blaming the Republicans and Donald Trump, and they are the ones keeping the government shut down. The government shutdown is a threat to national security. Thank you. He has concept a plan about something. What that is, I really don't know. I don't know either. I don't understand how putting the microphone in the hands of a demonstrator. Listen, let me tell you something. You guys are so caught up in Democrat versus Republican. You guys are not just seeing just the writing on the wall, bro. Like, this is a government website, and they have whoever put this message on top of the website. That's not, what is this? That's not how politics. That's why is the government website involved in Democrat versus Republican? That's what I have an issue with. Why is this even a message on top of the website? Why is that a message on top of a USDA Department of Agriculture web? Why is this on top of the website, y'all? Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, which there's a surplus. They still have more money. They decided not to give it out because there could be a hurricane or a thunderstorm or whatever, also known as SNAP. Bottom line, I don't know who wrote this. The well has run dry. Does this sound like a professional government? Even sent the well, bottom line, the well has run dry. At this point, at this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1st. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. So why is this being weaponized? So you're weaponizing food versus Democrat versus Republican? They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures. So is that the only thing they're holding out for? Is health care for that? Or are they trying? Is it only that? Is that what it is? Or do they whoever wrote this focused on those two situations? They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition. What the hell are you talking about? Who cares? So you're saying that because they are holding out for the health care of illegal aliens and gender mutilation, that it's more important that we don't pass this thing or let mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable receive food? I mean, I get it. People can be really this polarizing this whole thing, but if you read this message and read it clear, this is crazy. So it is about starving out people and being cruel to people in order to make a statement to the Democrats. Is that what we're doing here? They want to make a statement so bad that they're willing to starve people out for it. Like, what are we really doing here? Like, to me, like, I mean, I get it. Hey, it's the Democrats, whatever. But this right here, this message right here is very clear. It's not even about the government website. It's what you see every day. If they have a bill out, they're basically saying let's reopen the government, and the other party is denying it. Who's the real enemy? Well, it would be the government agency that has the money to be able to still release the funds, but they're trying to hold out because they're trying to do political action. They're trying to use government funds to force the hand of the Democrats to pass a bill. That's crazy to me. That you should not be able to use a government agency to blackmail other people in Congress. What is this going? What is this? I mean, am I not the only one that's like, okay, well, we're gonna hold this, and then if y'all don't do this, well, the people are gonna just starve, and that well, it is what it is. Then okay, then it'll be on y'all. Like, what are we doing here? What is really happening here? What are we really? What is really the it? So y'all are just so brainwashed. I don't see what's going on here. That's crazy. The Republicans can pass the bill without Democrats. Wake the F up. Thank you. Isn't there more Republicans than Democrats? Okay, they're using the crooked Obamacare that was not affordable as their only leverage to keep on this with this man. Whatever it is that this is what the government website of the USDA, Department of Agriculture, is putting on their website. This is the most unprofessional crap I've ever seen in my life. This is supposed to be like the US government putting this on their website. They should not be involved between Democrats versus Republicans. There should never be a message on the website for the U.S. Department of Agriculture saying, well, since the Democrats don't want to do it, then guess what? Y'all gonna starve then. That's what it seems like. I mean, just read it. Let's read it hood. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? The Democrats don't want to do what we want them to do. So guess what? Then y'all just gonna have to like deal with it and starve since they don't want to do what we want to do. And if they would have did what we want to do, then it would be available, even though we got the money, but we just gonna hold it out because it might be a hurricane or tornado or whatever. So you know what? Just because of that, no, we're not fixing to give y'all the money. That's what they probably should have got Bone Quisha to write this thing. At least it'd have been like more, less bull crap in the mud. This is crazy. So you want to blame it on the Democrats and not the Department of Agriculture? The Democrats are starving. No, it's the Department of Agriculture that are starving people because they are going with whatever the current whoever wrote this statement, whoever's running things in the Department of Agriculture, whoever's ahead of this, who wrote this statement, that's probably a Republican. Because they don't have they don't have to do this. You guys are. It can't be this ridiculous. It can't be this bad. It cannot be. You guys cannot be this brainwashed. All right, so you know what? I said what I'm gonna say about that subject. I'm gonna go on to the next one because it's you guys cannot be. It's ridiculous to be that just clueless in life. Okay, that's crazy. That's what you think. Okay, fine. I'm gonna just go ahead and move on to the next subject. Go.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but what is currently going on right now is a conservative civil war. That is correct. They are infighting like crazy. And it's being led by the likes of people of, Nick Fuentez, Tucker Carlson, and the list goes on. And essentially what the Civil War boils down to is mask on or mask off. Now, for those of you who may not be aware of what that means, mask on for the Conservative Party right now would be, more of the likes of platitudes such as, hey, we're not racist, we just want, America for American people, okay? That's what it has to be with. We don't hate Mamdani, we just aren't for communism. We don't like socialism, we don't like Marxism. We don't hate black people, we're not racist, we just want people to be in the positions that, qualify for the positions, that, that are merit-based. That's what we want. We're not racist. It has nothing to do with CRT, but we shouldn't, as far as label one group of people as evil or colonizers. That's not right. That's what we want the country to be for American people. That's what we want. A lot of dog whistling, a lot of dog whistling, a lot of racial undertones, but nothing saying, hey, I don't like you. It's just, they're beating around the bush of going, no, it's nothing like that. It's more of about this. That's what they're saying. Mask off would be essentially, hey, we don't like blacks. We don't like Jews. We don't like brown people. We don't like Muslims. We don't like LGBT. What we want is white and Christian. Damn. I'm sure you can, put one and one together and understand why the latter mask off would be alienating to millions of people. So what is going on right now is exactly that. You have a group of people who are like, hey, mask off, who are like, hey, if you're not saying that, this country is for white people, you're not really conservative. You're not really America first, because that's what America means.
I question anybody who says they're sincerely America first if they don't talk about white people.
And this is the weird rhetoric that is going on. We even have Myron on this thing looking stupid, him and Sneeko arguing, and this dude is up there saying, that it was white people that started the country. It's like, just people are just crazy. People are losing their freaking minds. Okay, they're going nuts. It's like people don't even know anything about. I don't know. It's the new generation has no idea like what the real history of America is, and you have all this stuff going on. Like you mean to tell me that you go onto the USDA website to find out about your SNAP benefits, and they're pretty much throwing it up in your face? Well, if it wasn't for them, they voting for transgender rights. So guess what? You gonna starve. That's pretty much what it's saying to me. That's what I hear. Well, you fixing to starve because transgenders over food. Either transgenders can like get medical treatment, or you gonna eat, or whatever. What's first? I don't know. It's weird. Let's go.
You serious?
And then you have those who don't believe in that, right? They're very much racist light, we'll say. They are very ambivalent about their beliefs when it comes to race being a social construct and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, what they want is exactly what the mask off people want. And that is for the white not to be a minority. They want them to be a majority. But the reason being is not because of that's what the country is. It's because of, well, that's what it's always been. That's because those are the people who are most qualified. We have to help American people, right? So it's more so using, fluffy words such as American people, that what they really mean is white people. Whereas mask off is saying, hey, instead of saying that, why are we placating to these people? Why are we placating to blacks and browns? Let's just say, hey, this is what it is. Damn. And that's what's going on currently. And it is absolutely fascinating to watch because what you have to understand, as I said before, that's going to be unemployment for a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people. I'm talking about, the whole Brandon Straka's of the...
The reason why I'm watching the other side of the game is because the Democrats, I mean the Republicans are not talking about the impact it's going to have on people. They're just like, oh well, it's because of that they're not going to pass the thing, so I guess people got to starve. So I'm talking about the Democrats seem to be the only ones talking about the impact it's going to have on human beings. Everybody else is just like on something like, oh well, let them in, get the immigrants out of here. No one's talking about the impact. The Democrats seem to be, and I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I don't believe in none of that shit. I think it's all bullshit. But I'm gonna say this is that the only place when I look it up, the impact of human life, the only ones I seem to hear that's talking about that tends to be this. Now, if you could show me a Democratic website that's talking about the impact of SNAP on human beings and how or whatever, without the bullshit and fluff that, oh, okay, well, it's really about transgenders having surgery. Who gives a fuck, bro? If people are hungry and starving. Y'all are so hung up on some bullshit about like what health benefits or whatever that you'd rather have people starve because people are just sitting up here like just holding the line. Everybody, both sides are wrong to me. Y'all both wrong. Both of them. Each side wants to hold the line and toe the line. No, we're not gonna. But I don't know what what the argument is. Maybe it's about, I don't know. But I'm just saying. All I know is that people's food, people going to school, kids going to school, probably don't have enough money to pay for lunch, are not going to have their lunch starting on the 1st of November. And so imagine how many kids are going to be hungry. And you know who that's going to impact is the teachers. The teachers are going to be trying to teach class and the kids are going to be hungry. And they're going to, now it's going to be kids acting up. Because SNAP also it deals with free lunch and all that stuff, but you guys are so focused on whether transgenders could like get an operation. That's what the USDA website says. They voted 12 times not to fund the food stamp program. I don't think that's what they did. Also known as SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry, but they have a reserve. At this time, there will be no benefits issue. So now this is like, it's petty. It's like, it sounds like, listen, you all they need to say this in like a ghetto woman. The Senate Democrat had now voted 12 times not to fund the food stamp program, also known as SNAP. Bottom line, the well have run dry. At this time, there'll be no benefits issue November 1st. We're approaching the inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. Other than that, I don't give a fuck. I mean, they might as well start twerking. They should have put a damn twerking video at the end of this damn thing at the top of their website. That's how ghetto this bullshit is. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, because they don't want to pass the law, then I guess y'all gonna have to starve. Fuck it. That's what it sounds like to me. Fuck it, y'all.
The world of the Republican Party who are like, hey, you know what? I'm gay, but I don't believe in none of that nonsense. Those people unemployed. The whole Brandon tantrums, the Kundis Owens, them mofos, they're gonna be unemployed because why do we care what you have to say? Right? We don't need a blackface to represent our talking points. We're going to say it from a white face. We're going to say it from our perspective and say this is what it is. We don't need that cover, right? Because that's all these people offer, right? When it comes to the tantrums, the Kundis Owens, and the rest of the black conservatives. All they offer is their skin.
Listen, this is the podcast where people can come up and talk. So I just put the link in the chat. If you want to like come and say your thing, this is the one. This is like so come on up and say what you got to say. But here's the thing. This right here is ghetto as fuck. I'm sorry. What the fuck are we doing here? There should never be a government website that has this kind of message on top of it. I don't care what the Democrats are doing or whatever. The government The USDA should be impartial, Democrat or Republican. They should not be having a message on top of their website that is partial to Democrat and Republican. Well, since the Democrats said they don't want to do it, then guess what? You guys are not gonna get your snap booth. That shit. What is this? That's not that. What is this? That's ghetto, bro. What are we doing? I want to play the song "Earth is Ghetto." I want to leave. Like, bro, Earth is ghetto. I want to leave. Can you feel the something? Can you hear the? You know, that's what I mean. I mean, hell, I'm about to play the song and just go ahead and get that strike, bro. That's how ridiculous this is. That shit is ghetto as fuck, bro. On a the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I didn't even realize it was getting that ghetto with it. You know what I'm saying? That's hood as hell, bro.
Cover to give them cover to say anti-black racist things. But if you're mask off, you don't care.
You are a diversity hire. You are a DEI hire. You pander. You know, and she thinks she's some kind of boss bitch. Yeah, you're a bitch, but like you didn't get that way because you're a super smart boss. You got that way because you're super bitchy black token. Like, it is what it is. So, and I'm kind of done with all the Uncle Toms. In a way, I'm done with all the Uncle Toms. I'm done with Jason Whitlock. I'm done with Candace Owens. I'm done with all the Uncle Tom token blacks. Like,
he's out of line, but he's right.
If you're mask off, I don't care. I don't care about having a black cover or a black face. I don't need that black face. I'm going to say it directly, and, you know, tough luck. There's nothing you can do. You're just going to have to take it. That's what mask off looks like. When it comes to, you know, the Indians and the Pakistanis, the Afghanis, you know, the Patrick Bet-Davids, the Dinesh D'Souza's, the Vivek Ramaswamis, their careers, quote unquote, are done, finito, because they won't need them anymore. They'll be of no value, no use to them because they're brown and they're immigrants.
I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
Lord have mercy. Really?
They are literally an example of everything that they don't want in this country. It's only going to boil down to the most self-hating, self-loathing black and brown people who would be accepted by them.
I miss you like a hog miss fly.
And when I mean accepted, I don't mean accepted as Americans. I mean accepted as you are insulation for white people. That's all you are. If we have a war, civil war, whatever type of war, you are going to be cannon fodder to protect us.
Damn.
That's what we're talking about. That's how they are going to be treated. I mean, they're treated like that, whether they accept it or acknowledge it, right? I think the best clip that I've shown before is Ann Coulter calling Vivek essentially, hey, I'm not gonna vote for you because you're Indian. And that right there is emblematic of mask off. That is emblematic of this conservative struggle right now, this Republican Party struggle right now, where, you know, you have many of the conservative Inc., you know, they're calling them woke right and stuff like that, which is goofy. But nevertheless, you have these groups who are, you know, who are very much pro-Israel. They're very much, hey, I believe in Judeo-Christian, you know, values and things like that. Hey, I believe we're all American. Hey, I believe it's not about, you know, immigration isn't the problem. It's illegal immigration. I say legal immigration is great. I have no problem if you come here and you're American. That's the whole mask on version. And that is like, you know, nails on the chalkboard to mask off people. They don't believe in any of that.
And how our country went from white to non-white, because that's important. Our country came from Europe.
You serious?
So there is a fight right now, and really what it boils down to, it's going to be money, because there's a lot of outside money within the conservative movement, within Republicans. We've had, you know, Thomas Massey come out and say that, hey, all the members of Congress on the Republican side have like an AIPAC, an AIPAC babysitter.
By the way, everybody but me has an AIPAC person.
What's that mean, an AIPAC person?
It's like your babysitter, your AIPAC babysitter.
What? There's a lot of that involved. And it's going to be interesting to see who wins ultimately, because you have to understand there's a hierarchy when it comes to the ignorance, right? The white elite ignorance know what's going on. They don't care about, the middle class ignorance, the white ignorance, or the poor ignorance. They care about themselves. There is the middle class ignorance of those who know that, but they also see, hey, I can make a buck, saying what I need to say to the poor white ignorance. That's where you get, someone like a Nick Fuentez. That's where you get someone like a Tucker Carlson. That's where you get, Tucker may be more of an elite, but that's where you get those people are like, hey, I can make a profit off of these dumb, low IQ white ignorance of the country.
Damn.
I don't believe anything I'm saying, but I know these dummies are going to believe what I'm saying. And I know they'll buy, Black Rifle House coffee. They'll buy my sponsors. They'll buy my merch. They'll buy all this because they're dumb, right? Just like when it came to Trump. Trump talking about, hey, I need a legal fund. A billionaire needs a legal fund to fight an election that he believes was stolen. And that makes sense to you, even though all the court cases were thrown out. But yeah, sure. But nevertheless, people gave.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You have Trump, who's at the top, right, the lead, but you also have those, underneath him. The Charlie Kirkson is a perfect example of more of a mediocre white ignorant.
Beta.
He's not an elite by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a mediocre white ignorant. He will be a small fish that leeches off of the big fish. That's what's happening. That's what the whole TPUSA was. That was, hey, I'm gonna, feed this propaganda for a profit. Right? When it came down to the text messages that were shown out, he did not care what he was saying was lies. He didn't care. But he knew that Israel was paying him. And as long as the checks were cashing, as long as the checks didn't bounce, he didn't care. He'll talk pro-Israel. But when that came to a line where it's like, I can't do this, then it was like, well, I'm going to have to, digress from my pro-Israel, propaganda that I'm putting out.
I just want to take a quick second to just take a break. I want to give a shout out to Raz Taz. I appreciate your super chat. And I want to play a special song for you and anyone else. I just want to this is those ghetto stuff, bro. The USDA website. Okay? This is on the USDA website. Everything that he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Nick Fuentez, the whole thing, all this is ghetto as hell, bro. It's not just earth, everything. It's crazy. What are we doing, bro? And then we're so stuck on Democrat versus Republican. We're just feeding into the bullshit. We just believe it. Meanwhile, the billionaires are just becoming richer and richer. And we just over here just picking a side. And we don't even realize that people that really matter are not picking a side. They don't care about no side. They're not Democrat. They're just flying the fucking bird, bro. I think I want to play that song again for those in the back again. You know, it's ghetto. They could stop it tomorrow. Who could stop it? The Republicans, the Democrats, both of them, the USDA. They could all stop it. It don't have to be one side or the other. That's the thing that people are getting jacked up about it. That everyone wants to point the finger at who could stop it. But at the end of the day, it could be anyone could stop it. All the people could stop it, bro. They could all stop it. Just stop it. Wow. That's crazy. Once again, Earth is ghetto. This is crazy, So let's go into something else that happened. I'm gonna just let that whole thing go. The USDA has a whole hood announcement on their website, and everybody just wants to just point the finger to the Democrats versus Republican and don't see how there's a problem with this. USDA should have no choice, Democrat or Republican. They are a government agency. They should not be in politics. It should be just we are an agency that gives food. There should never be a message like this on top of the website. That's crazy. Okay, it's ghetto. Okay, and America, come on now, what are we doing here? I'm so.
A white majority Christian country, and we are guests here. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So the only thing, so 95% of people here are guests.
Yeah, dude. Nowadays, yeah, with the mass immigration, yeah.
He thought he said something. Sneeko and Myron had a debate after Sneeko had seen Myron making some comments about Muslims.
There's a reason why they're doing that. I'm not stupid. All right? They're shutting down Times Square, praying with loudspeakers and shit to do what? To assert dominance. Okay?
They decided to get up on a stream and talk it out.
Here's the thing, man. Like praying in a symbolic Western location that's a tourist destination.
What about?
Okay, real fast, for those of you who are like, what's going on? They're having a debate about whether or not it's acceptable for Muslims to be in Times Square praying. So Muslims had organized some kind of event where a bunch of them were in Times Square praying as a group. They weren't being disruptive, they weren't, but Myron's arguing that, you guys are guests in this country, you have no business doing that. Despite the fact that if you've ever been to Times Square, there's dudes selling CDs, folks performing, everything. Times Square is a big fucking mess.
You shouldn't pray in Times Square. There's a naked cowboy.
But I went to go watch the video, and if you go watch it,
I could care less.
Don't make me get my cowboy hat, boy. I'm going to start by saying, I think a lot of people, including myself, were wrong about Sneeko in some regards. I didn't want to include this because it wasn't in the video, because I guess during the live we didn't come back to it. But what I was wrong about Sneeko, and I wanted to include this because I think it's worth saying. Sneeko got the label of being a grifter because he constantly changed his worldviews or his opinions quite a lot. Depending on who he was hanging around, you felt like he was always just swaying with the wind. I remember there's a lot of memes about that at the time, and we definitely played into that, especially when he was, converting to Islam. During that time period, there's a lot of people who were kind of wearing the veneer of religion whilst doing, and at the same time doing none of the work that's associated with being someone of faith. And rightly so, a lot of them are called grifters, Sneeko among them. However, I think Sneeko has put in the time, he's put in the work, and me personally, when I see someone making a real effort to follow their convictions, I think it's worth commending. And at the end of the day, whether you support everything he says or not, that's not really the point. I think what matters is that we need more people involved who believe in the things that they say.
What do you really think is really Myron's issue? Why do you think what is going on with him? Do you think he is insane? Like the whole rhetoric that he's kicking, what does he think he's gonna get out? And he just raging and ranting.
As a guest, right? Because we are guests here.
We are guests. Are you a guest? Because you're from the Sudan. What are you talking about? We're guests here. What do you mean? He just starts it off stupid as fuck.
Because we are guests here.
What does that mean? We're guests.
We're guests. This is not a Muslim country. It's
a freedom of religion country.
Yeah.
It's a secular country.
Okay.
What do you mean we're guests? I'm a citizen here. I'm not a guest.
No.
Hold on. I'm not a guest. I have a passport. I was born here.
Of course.
Even when you pledge allegiance as an American, I grew up
pledge allegiance saying by God. The God is mentioned in the
pledge allegiance. Do you say Jesus? They believe.
You say God.
You don't say Jesus.
You say God.
I watched the video. It really wasn't disruptive, but Myron's arguing it's not your home country. you're a guest here, and then Sneako's like, well, I'm a citizen. Why would you say I'm a guest in my own country? And that's where we're at. I also want to say the God part in the Pledge of Allegiance was added in the 50s, the 1950s. It wasn't actually there in the founding of America. It was added during the
Don't say they want to come up. Come on
the
up.
reason why is
What
because
you
the
wanna say?
Russians were considered theists. They didn't have a religion. And so to differentiate themselves, the Americans began mentioning God a lot to separate themselves.
It's your mentality approaching thinking that we're guests here.
Yeah, I think we're guests here. That is
Dude, we were born here.
No, the Islamic faith and the religion of Islam, you are a guest as a Muslim in the United States.
I'm not a guest in my home.
Bro, we are guests here.
What do you?
We are guests here.
We were born here. So now your faith makes you a guest.
Yes, if you're gonna open, yes, to a degree, yes.
To a degree, or
yeah, because obviously everything is like nuanced, like nothing is absolute. But like the point I'm trying to make is that the Islamic faith, as this is not a Muslim country, so therefore,
So what about Catholics? Are Catholics guests? Because it was founded by Protestants?
I would say they're closer to.
So they're still guests.
I would say they're because here's the thing with Catholicism, Christianity, all of it, it's all kind of one. I look at them all as the same. Like they all believe in Jesus. They all believe in Jesus.
They disagree with each other,
of course,
fundamentally.
But I just wanted to pause right there. How familiar are you with like the inner beefs between Protestants, Orthodox, Catholics?
Somewhat.
Do they all think they're the same?
No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, the reason why the name Protestant is there is because they protested against Catholicism. Calvinist church is another one. Calvin decided, yo, I'm a leave. This other lady created the Mormons. Like they all effed off of the religion that they are in. Like, no, they don't think that they're the same.
No. Some of them don't even think that the other ones are going
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They left at some point. They're like, I'm out. So they're not. They're really like, even I remember when I was going to church when I was a kid. We're Baptist. I was raised Baptist, right? So, Pentecostal, something else. Although they're a part of the Baptist, you could say, but they're not. It's really like games.
Bro, you were raised Baptist? You were raised Baptist?
I was raised Baptist.
I was raised spectator, so I got to watch them fight. Okay? In my country, we have Protestants and Orthodox.
Yes.
Orthodox niggas don't play.
No.
They
don't play.
They spend all.
You know what? If you go back into my old videos, I say that all of Myron Gaines' talking points are Islamic rhetoric. All of the reason why he has an issue with America is because of his Islamic rhetoric. But then he wants to check Sneeko and say, well, we're guests here. But he spews it. Islamic rhetoric the whole time about how Western society and this, that, the other. But then he gets on these panels and is praising the white man and this, that. It's like, bro, you, what in the world, bro?
Next caller.
So you believe we're guests in our own country?
Here's the thing: Hindus, Jews, Muslims, we're all guests in America. Being honest, we all are. I'm not just saying this is as Muslims we're guests. I think.
What about minorities? Are minorities guests in America?
Like, what do you mean minorities? Like blacks and shit like that?
Like anybody not
Asians?
white? Anybody not white?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yeah.
So also guests.
Yeah.
So you could have been forced to come here 400 years ago, forced to build the infrastructure, given your freedoms, have like 10 generations here.
But because of your religion.
That's how much.
No, you're a guest. This guy is a fool. Anyone that is following Myron Gaines is a damn idiot. This guy is saying that even black people are guests in this country. Sounds stupid as hell to me.
Keep licking boots.
Keep licking.
Yeah.
So to be a true American, you need to be a white Christian.
I never said that.
Anybody not
Asians?
white? Anybody not white?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yeah.
So also guests.
Yeah, we are Americans, but we are guests here.
Oh,
huh?
We're
Americans, but like we're not the, I guess, original Americans.
Okay, so what about Europeans, like people with second generation Europeans who came here?
Ooh, Sneako's cooking. Sneako's asking the right questions because he's dissecting the worldview. And he's like, well, so it's for white Americans. Well, what about the Europeans who just arrived way after we did? Like, do they also get to stay in this? And you're gonna watch this shit unravel really fast.
Okay, so if I'm a white guy and my parents immigrated here after World War II, and I'm a white Christian, and my parents are from Germany, right?
And you came here after World War II.
Am I a guest?
I would say from Framer's perspective, if you came like you were here in the 1700s, like if you have lineage back to like the colonial individuals.
What is that, like 5% of the country?
Probably not as much, yeah. I mean, probably
so
not.
everyone's a guest here.
A lot, yeah.
So whose country is it? It's just those 5% of people?
I would say it's America is a white majority Christian country, and we are guests here. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So the only people, so 95% of people here.
What? Why is he even allowed to speak, bro? Who's even allowing him to have this stupid grifting bull crap? Does he get money for saying this? Like, what is going on?
I guess.
Yeah, dude. Nowadays, yeah, with the mass immigration, yeah.
He thought he said something. He really, like when he said that, he was like, "Oh, I think I have something here." Oh, yeah. But I mean, yeah. Well, okay.
So you're a true American, but you're also a guest in your country.
Yeah.
So you're like a second-class citizen behind the 5%.
95% of the people are second-class citizens in America, according to him.
I like, even when he's getting these opinions from white people, is he like asking the 5%ers, or is he just asking any white person who might have immigrated after World War II? Like, how does he even differentiate? How do we even do they have a special card? Do you have a hey, nigga, we've been here 10 generations card?
Like this whole thing. I still don't know what you were wrong about, Sneeko.
Bro, we'll get to that. But he's cooking, right?
Who's cooking?
Sneeko.
Sure. He's toasting, which just involves pressing a button.
Yeah, he's not cooking. He really ain't giving too much as much pushback as he needs to be. Because what are we saying here? Isn't Sneeko like half Haitian? Why isn't he breaking out the whole Haitian aspect? Like, what do you mean, sir? My ancestors are Haitian and this, that, the other, and the slave trade, and take your behind back to Sudan and do that.
When they cook.
I think he's cooking them. 95% of the American
population. He's barely cooking. He is, you know what I'm saying? He's toasting on light bread, okay? No, he's not. He did not cook like that. No. Because he should have like addressed that whole thing. You Haitian, you really need to be addressing.
Population are guests, citizens with passports. That's a crazy claim.
Just because the host religion gets to assert a level of dominance, unfortunately, because they are the majority and they're the ones that.
But the founding fathers didn't intend for that. They didn't even say that. They didn't say they want Christian dominance. If they wanted Christian dominance, they would have included the Bible and the Constitution. They would have said Jesus.
Well, they did that, like I said before, to avoid issues between Baptists and Protestants.
Were you there, sir? Were you there, sir? Were you there, sir? You just making up shit. You don't even know.
Being involved and intertwined, but when they forged it, they didn't expect, oh yeah, we're gonna have freedom of religion, but let another religion come in and dominate.
What about like Chinese festivals
and disrupting?
That's a public display of their culture.
Yeah, well,
I hear that. What about?
I'm not a fan, dude. Honestly, I don't think we should have any of these fucking parades.
You shouldn't have parades.
I don't think we should have cultural parades. No.
There was just a Yom Kippur celebration in New York. They
get them
walked
niggas out of here.
It's not going to happen.
Who is we? Who is
a very diverse place?
All the Irish people that helped make this country, right? All the Irish people that
St. Patty's Day?
St. Patty's Days, we forget that.
Get them out of here.
Out the window.
Again.
Okay? So all the Italians that came here, right, after World War I and helped build this country and all these businesses, out the window.
Again.
We've established that 95% of the people are.
What about Chinatown?
No, that's of course not.
Again. Koreatown?
No.
The Jewish quarter?
Right.
Who doesn't like a parade? You know what I'm saying? He need to take his ass back over to Sudan with that bullshit. Go back to Sudan or go to Sudan or you know what I'm saying? Why is he over here with this rhetoric? The bull stuff. You know what I'm saying? What is he over here for?
According to him, definitely not. So But he's established
in the wrong country. He needs to go take his ass back over there.
In their country. So we're gonna have no parades for 5% of the. So we're gonna go with the rules of the minority. But when we talk about trans people, you don't want to talk about that because they're too. What's the logic here?
There's no logic.
Okay,
He
cool.
just yapping.
We're good.
But that's what I'm
I
saying.
thought.
That's why I think Sneeko doing a good job. Good job.
I have shit on these parades and shit all the time, bro. Like I am not a fan of like any of these. Puerto Rican Day Parade, I've made jokes on that shit because they're fucking Americans. What the fuck are they doing? Nobody cares about reggaeton, doom, doom, doom. Like, and this is kind of where.
So is that them?
The hell are you talking about?
To a degree,
bro?
yeah, for sure.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We have a super chat here that is bringing a wonderful point. Asnain Khan that says, irony, those 5% he's referring to were colonizers who stole the land in the first place.
Oh, you talking about the Native Americans?
Yeah, so it's like it's the 5% that are left. It's not even their country and they are guests because it's not theirs.
Yeah.
Like, what about the Hare Krishna? Every park in New York City, if you go to Washington Square Park, Central Park, you'll see all these bald white people when they have the monk outfits on. They're like, Hare Krishna, banging the drum. I see that every single day in the train stations and the.
Doesn't America in the Constitution have freedom of religion? I think that he forgets what countries he's in. He's like, no, we shouldn't have this. We shouldn't have that. Like, you're in the wrong country, sir. Go take your ass where there's no freedom of religion, only like Muslim religion. This is a place of freedom of religion. He wants to bring his Muslim ideas over to America. And I've been said that he is an Islamist that is touting Islamic rhetoric. And that's all this whole thing is, that he feels like everything should be, and take that whole like Islamic way of doing stuff and trying to like bring it over to here. Take your behind back over to Sudan and then tell them how they should run their culture. Do not come over here and try to tell people over here.
Park. They do it loudly in public.
Look,
like it's not a big deal. I just see them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, hey, and they offer you a book.
And you're used to it because you're like in New York City, you're around these all the time. Like my thing is I think once your worship starts to get to a point where you're disrupting other people, I think that's a problem.
So no Christmas.
No, because
Santa
the founding fathers.
No, Santa Claus not even from here.
Ooh, talk to us.
St. Nicholas.
Okay.
That's not from here.
Okay.
And we shouldn't have none of that. That's not even Santa Claus is not even Christian. I've read the Bible, no Santa Claus. Not in the Old, not in the New Testament. No Santa. Check him out the window. Easter with the rabbit? Check it out. Easter with the bunny is a pagan fucking thing.
Every time I see these parades and I see these Dominicans just salsa dancing in the street, I'm like, they're asserting their dominance.
So you join them.
Thanks. Like them Latinos can dance.
Listen, guys. I think that people are trying. Yeah, it's cringy. It's cringe. Like, yes, Jackie. It's like, yes, biting my thumb, my fingers. Listen. People are just becoming so intolerant and just so ridiculous. But you know what? I'm gonna play this one last time because this is what I really.
Trying to get it right. Transition. Changing the way that I see life. Transition mind. I'm on a mission. On a mission. Trying to get it right. I'm transitioning my life. Making a transition. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Ooh, 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 ooh. Making a transition. Trying to mission, a mission. I'm on a mission. On a mission, I'm trying to get it right. Changing the way that I see life. Transitioning my life. On a mission.